Hi, I'm Dana Obleman. This video is for my free sleep course for babies 13 to 24 months right here on YouTube. If you feel like you could use some more guidance, and check out Sleep Sense Plus, the link is in the description below. Good morning, welcome back. Well, we had our transition last night of moving our chair to the middle of the room. I hope that went relatively well. I warned you yesterday that if you felt a little nervous about it, it often meant that you were doing a little bit too much helping with your touch. So I hope that you were able to stay in your chair for the majority of the night, and I hope that it went relatively well. Now, let's go back and talk about naps some more. I know, these naps, they are most likely still not where you'd like them to be, and that's very common on day 5. So not to worry, just a little reminder, I did tell you that our #1 goal this week with naps is just to make sure that this baby falls asleep there. That is worth celebrating. The next goal is for the nap to be long enough. Now this age range is a little bit tricky because we're probably looking at 2 naps for some babies. If we've got a 13-month-old, you might still be finding 2 naps are working great. But for the majority of you, we're most likely talking about a 1 nap day. And I gave you some tips about how to transition. There's also a document in the nap chapter of the book that walks you through how to transition to 1 nap a day. If you're not quite there yet, then in the next month or 2, it will definitely show up. And the most common sign is that the second nap's just not happening anymore. And there's a really good quality first nap in place. So then we just basically shift everything down slowly until that one beautiful morning nap is hitting more in the 12:30 range. If you've been trying to get your baby to sleep a little bit longer for that nap, there was 2 different strategies. One was waiting at least 10 minutes before you go in, giving your baby an opportunity to see if she's going to go back to sleep without any intervention from you. And remember, I mentioned making sure you give it a full 10 minutes, even if she's crying hard for 9 of those. She may surprise you. The other strategy was going in really quickly and sitting down in your chair, using your key phrases and careful touch to see if you can help lull or coax her back into another sleep cycle. Now, I asked you to try those things for 3 days in a row. If one way did not work for those 3 days, now it's time to switch strategies. Even if you've been a little resistant to the idea of leaving her for any length of time to cry, I want you to go ahead and give it some thought if you're capable and willing to make the switch. Because you going in there really quickly obviously isn't helping. If it did, then great. But if every time you go in, she just gets excited or angrier because you're not doing anything, then let's try waiting. And it may work better to just give her some time, give her about 10 minutes or so to see if she can figure this out without a lot of extra help from you. If that doesn't work, then go ahead and go in, sit back in your chair for another 10 minutes or so, and see if we get any success with getting this nap a little longer. But not to worry if it hasn't showed up at all yet. It will. It's just for a lot of babies, especially in this age group, it often takes into week 2 before we start seeing some good quality length to that daytime nap. You might also be noticing that you're seeing some pretty significant protests still with naps. By going into night 5 tonight, you should be seeing really impressive improvements. I can never quite understand why there's such a discrepancy between what's happening at night and what's showing up for naps, but I just want to reassure you that 90% of the time that's the case, and it's totally normal. It just means that naps are going to come, but they're probably going to be a week or 2 behind your nights. Okay, so we are now moving into night 5. I want to spend a few minutes talking or preparing you for what potentially could show up tonight. Night 5 regression. I had to give it a name. It happened so often that I needed to start warning people about it. So for some of you, night 5 tonight is going to feel a lot like night 1 all over again. I hate to be the bearer of this bit of bad news, but it does happen, and I don't really know why. My guess is that it's basically your child's one last try, right? Just one more try to see if you will give up on this strategy and start going back to her old familiar prop. The good news is that once you get through night 5, this little like back step, things get much better from here. So it's just usually 1, sometimes 2 rocky nights, but then it's relatively smooth sailing after that fact. Now for some of you, 50% of you, this won't occur. You will not have a night 5 regression. And if that's the case, then great. Just know that sometimes it shows up on night 6. So just because you sailed through night 5 without any upset, prepare yourself, right? Just have it in the back of your mind that if it shows up on night 6, there's nothing to worry about. Just proceed in your normal way. Just the chair's in the middle of the room, just like it was last night. You're being careful with your touch, you're saying your key phrase, you're trying to stay in your chair. None of this is going to change how you respond, just that your baby might be protesting a little deeper or longer for some of the occasions in the night. Not usually all, but it can feel a little bit like a back step. So good luck tonight. Prepare yourself. If you sail through it, great. Then you'll be celebrating even more tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.